right, welcome to the last section that we're going to start doing we're going to finish up with chapter 5, and that is 5.6. Now, I have broken this particular lesson up into two different sections. The first one is we're going to look at is parallel lines. Before we start that, let's do a little review over what we've learned so far in this chapter to deal with lines. First, we looked at slope. Slope is rise over run. That's when we're looking at a graph. Also, this is the slope formula you need to know. If the lines are diagonal lines, we have three different forms. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Standard form, ax plus by equals c. And point slope form, y minus y1 equals m, parentheses, x minus x1, close parentheses. Now, we usually only use point slope form when we don't have the y-intercept. Or we're giving an ordered pair, a random ordered pair, and the slope. Standard form, we never start off with standard form. We usually start off with slope-intercept form or point-slope form to put it in standard form. And slope-intercept form is only whenever we're given the slope and given the y-intercept. I worked my way backwards on that one. So those are diagonal lines. The other two types of lines are horizontal lines and vertical lines. So this is where I talked to you about Bucks-Hoy. Okay, if it's a horizontal line, then that means that there's a y in the equation and it has a zero slope. If it's a vertical line, it has x in the equation and it's an undefined slope. All right, so now we're looking at slopes of some specific type of lines, more than one. And these are parallels. In this particular section, we're looking just at parallel. Non-vertical lines are parallel if they have the same slope and different y-intercept. Okay, now any two vertical lines are parallel and any two horizontal lines are parallel. So if they both have an undefined slope, then they're parallel. If they both have a zero slope, then they're parallel. But non-vertical or diagonal lines are parallel if they have the same slope and different y-intercepts. Now I want you to think about that. If they had the same slope and the same y-intercept, they wouldn't be two lines. They would be two separate lines. They would be two lines right on top of each other. Basically the same line. All right, so let's look at some of your examples. In this particular homework examples, I'm only doing 3 examples of parallel lines. So first, they give us an ordered pair, so that's x1, y1, and they tell us that the graph is parallel to the graph of the given equation. So our final answer needs to be in slope-intercept form. So we don't have the y-intercept. We don't really have the slope, but we do have a way of finding the slope. So they give us this equation, and they tell us that the slope of the line is parallel to the given line. Parallel means same slope. So what is the slope of this line? Well, it's -5. Remember, it's the coefficient of x. So I now know what my slope is. I still don't have the y-intercept, but I do have an ordered pair x1, y1. So I'm going to go to the point slope form, and we're going to plug in. So y minus -4 equals the slope from the first line, from the line that's given, -5, parentheses, x minus -2. And they want it in slope-intercept form, which means solve for y. So do the distributive property. And we get -5x minus 10, subtract 4, and the slope-intercept form is -5x minus 14. So make sure you type in the y equals part because they don't have it written for you. And it says to make sure that you write an equation. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one says write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given point, x1, y1, and is parallel to the given line. Now this one is really easy because, well, first let's do the given line. 4/7 x plus 2. And the slope is 4/7. Remember, it's always the coefficient of x. Now, this time they did give us the y-intercept, because remember, y-intercept is where x is 0 and we're trying to find y. Well, if x is 0 in this particular equation, y is 0. So we're just going to plug into y equals mx plus b, because they tell us slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So y equals 4/7 x plus 0, and then that simplified is just y equals 4/7 x. Oops, they already have the y. Yay for them. Okay, so 4/7 x. All right, that one wasn't too bad. And number 3 is even easier. Find the equation of the line that is parallel to the line x equals -16 and contains this point. Okay, so remember, if it's an x equation, okay, Buxhoy says that if it's an x equation, then it's a vertical line. Okay, that means it has an undefined slope. So if it's parallel to that line, then also this line is going to be a vertical line with an undefined slope, which also means its equation is x equals, and then x equals the number in the x position, which is -1. So that is the equation. Easy squeezy lemon peasy. Okay, so now you're ready to do the examples. The homework for these examples. And I did add some more problems besides just the parallel line problems. There's some problems for review, so you can get extra practice on those. Yay!